Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. Before we get started with today's video, I want to thank everybody. We're at 18,900 subscribers still. We're almost to 19. It's like everything come to a halt, but I'm still grateful and I still want to thank you guys. And another thing I want to remind you is that you can join the channel for just 99 cents now. Heads up, January 1st, 2023, the MVP, VIP, and Pro versions of the membership will be going away and all those perks will drop on over to the eBuzz Central member. So let's go ahead and close out of that. And I do want to apologize. It's raining and storming here pretty hard in the central United States. So if you hear a little bit of thunder in the background, I apologize. And you might hear a little bit of the rain. Now, I also want to send a thank you out to my newest member, Robert Ross. Thank you so much for becoming a member to the channel. It means so much to me that you enjoy the content enough to support the channel. Now, as most of you know who watch my videos know, I'm pretty opinionated sometimes to a fault. But I've had a lot of people in my comments recently, and I don't know if it's just trolls or not, but there's so many of them, I don't think that they're trolls. I do really think there are people out there that believe, hands down, point blank period, Windows is the only way to go. And that's their belief. That's what they support. 90% of the time, I would say, hey, good for you. Go do what you want. But here's what most of them say when I respond to their comments. Linux is just too hard to use. I am ready to remove this BS from people's minds. Linux isn't hard to use. Here's what I get most of the time in my comments. Too many Linux distros. Linux sucks and it's hard to install. Linux is hard because you have to use the terminal. No app support and you cannot game on Linux, which all of you know is pretty much crap now in Linux. You can pretty much do anything you want, whether it be office work, whether it be editing videos. You can do pretty much everything that you need to do inside of Linux. So my question is, when do we stop it? When do we stop the madness? What do we need to do? And most of the times I'm going to ask somebody, when was the last time you installed an operating system? If your answer is a few years ago, or when I first got my PC, or maybe back in 2005, 2010, it's time that you try to install an operating system. But don't pick Windows. Go out on a ledge. Take a chance. Try installing Linux. I know that people have previously complained about it being hard to install, but really it's not. It's easier to install nowadays than Windows. And I understand when people nowadays choose an operating system, Windows is pretty much straightforward. It's what they know. It's what they've been indoctrinated into using, for lack of a better word. Linux is hard to use. That BS needs to be thrown out the window because there's a lot of distributions that you can use on Linux. Now, if you come to my channel, I go over 100 different distributions, if not more. I even show you how to install them. I show you how to take everything from bare metal all the way up to a complete operating system. Need to do office work? Got you covered. Need to do video editing? Got you covered. Need to do photo editing? Got you covered. I pretty much go through everything. It makes everything simple. You can watch a couple videos, go out, take a chance, and do what you want to do. Now, if you're new to this channel, when we say Linux or I say Linux, I'm referring to GNU Linux. Now, it's a Linux kernel. It's not an operating system in and of itself. Linux is a kernel, and then you build software on top of it to turn it into an operating system. Installation is where people supposedly find it most difficult. I have gone through installation of Linux. It can't be any easier than what you want to do on here. You download a Linux distribution and you put it on a USB. You boot into it off that USB. You got a little thing up here that says install it. You click it. Guess what? You're off to the races. Put in your name, put in your location, put in what kind of keyboard you got, put in your password. It does all the hard work for you. And then once you've got it installed, all you got to do is come over to your local store to get all your applications and start downloading applications to your heart's content. Now, one thing I do believe, on most Linux distributions, you have a software center. You just come in here. Now, I want to remind you guys, this isn't like the Mac OS Software Center, and it most definitely is not like the Microsoft Store. When you come into here, when you come into Discover, you're ready to do business. You're ready to get applications. You can go in here like Kden Live. If you wanted to install it, you just click right here, and it's going to install. So you're not playing any games of, is this a good application to download or not? Because if it's in their software center, it is safe to use. Next thing, here's the most I hear all the time. Let's open this up. This right here is the most feared thing on Linux. This is your console. But guess what, guys? Guess what? Windows has got one of these too. You just don't have to use it. Why? Because Windows has a graphic user interface. You can use the terminal on Windows, but let me show you something. You got a GUI right here. This is what this is called, graphic user interface. Short is GUI. You've got it. If you don't want to go into terminal in Linux, you don't have to. Everything you can do is at a click away, just like in Windows, just like in Mac OS. It's that simple. Okay? Don't be afraid of this just because it's got a terminal. Windows has got a terminal. Are you going to stop using Windows? You're going to be scrolling through your apps one day and go, oh my God, Windows has a terminal. I got to get rid of it because I can't use the terminal. No, you're not. Now, a lot of people will also say Windows is just easier to navigate. Really, I can understand that statement. I truly can understand that statement. You know why? Because you've used Windows probably most of your life. But let's really think about Windows. Even Windows 11 now. You've got the Windows over in the center now, but Windows 10 prior, you had a little start button, app menu over here. You click on it, and it brought up applications. Look at this. It does the exact same thing. You've got applications right there. You've got your store to install them. You come down here, you click on that little button, and it brings them up just like it does on Windows. Sure does. And then right next to it, you've got a settings button. Let me open up the let's go ahead and maximize that. There's your settings. Everything from appearance all the way down to software update and everything in between. There's your settings. Appearance, you can come over here. You can change the whole look of your system if you want to. You can't do that on Windows. I know you are comfortable with Windows. I know you think it's easier to navigate. But take the time to try out a Linux distribution, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If you disagree with me, please drop that in the comments below. And generally the next thing I hear is, you can't game on Linux. There's no gaming on Linux. Yes, you can. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm always above board with my videos because I do have people sometimes say, you're not 100% honest. Every time I've ever talked about gaming on Linux, I've always said the same thing. If you want to play AAA games, you can. If you're wanting to play something with anti-cheat, it's not going to happen yet. It's in the process of getting taken care of with the new Steam OS, which I've covered right here on my channel. If we go down here, let's look. Arch-based Steam OS coming to the desktop soon. I have people come out of the woodwork. Steam OS has been around since 2012. Yes, a Debian version has. The one I'm making this video about is an Arch-based version, which is the same one they have on the Steam Deck. But nobody takes the time to actually sit back and calm down and listen to what I'm saying. Steam OS, Arch-based, is on the Steam Deck, and that's what they're going to bring out to the desktop. So I don't need you blowing up my comments saying, Steam OS for Linux has been around since 2012. Yes, it has. The Debian version. The Arch version that they're coming out with makes hardware accessibility a lot easier, and you're going to have a wider range of hardware that you can use on your system. That's all I ask. Just pay attention. I've got all of these videos, and I talk in all these videos, and I point out the information, and I tell you where to find it. So please, just calm down and take a breath, and then we can learn, and we can do this Linux journey together. Package management, we've already covered. Look, guys, in closing, like any software, there's a learning curve to Linux. And it's a shallow one. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone and switch. But once you do, it's a rabbit hole you'll enjoy running around in, I promise you. Because you can start in Linux Mint, or you can start in Ubuntu and then swing on over and try some Arch, try some Manjaro, try some Garuda. There is so much fun to be had. I had a lot of fun doing this channel. I have a lot of fun doing these videos for the simple fact that I'm seeing something new every day. And something updated every day. There's always something new to talk about. You can't say that about Windows. You can't say that about Mac. It's the same experience every single day. Yes, I have a system right now that you're looking at. Let me go ahead and minimize this. This is what I'm going to do most of my work on. This doesn't change. I've got boxes down here. I can try a different operating system or two every day if I want to. I'm getting my Proxmox finalized and set up so I can start doing different things on that as a virtual machine server. And that's going to be enjoyable and that's going to be fun. And I'm going to share that with y'all. Show you how to set up your own Proxmox server in your house. Do you have an old laptop laying around gathering dust? I can show you how to utilize it and make it very powerful. So having said that, every OS has its pros and cons, and based on the distribution you choose, they might differ. But overall, if you're tired of Windows, you cannot go wrong with Linux. Please do me a favor before you leave today. Please like, subscribe, or follow my channel. The more likes I get keeps me in YouTube's algorithm, which means the information you just saw in this video, if it was helpful to you, it can be helpful to somebody else. And subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. And if you end up not liking me, you can always unsubscribe. If you like the channel and enjoy the videos that we are producing, we are on 3 separate platforms: YouTube, Utreon, and Odyssey. And you can become members on all 3. On YouTube, it's only 99 cents. On Utreon, it's $2.99. And on Odyssey, it's $4. You can also buy us a cup of coffee, maybe go over to PayPal and throw us a donation, or go to Patreon and become a patron to the channel. All those links will be in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you in the next video.